They say you'll never look back on your life and wish you'd spent more time working. That's good because you don't have time to live with regret. You don't have time to manage every detail of a growing technology business. You only have time for one thing, your life. Now you can spend your time on real solutions, on your customers, on your legacy. And what will that legacy be? Is it phone calls and emails, or family dinners and baseball games? Every day, we're all making choices about our time and how that time will define us. That's why we are in business, providing automation, strategies, and vision that help your team stay ahead of technology. Because we believe your time is now, and it's worth it. Connect with your life, and we'll connect the rest. ConnectWise.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chief Product Officer Craig Fulton.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to Automation Nation 2018. This is a big moment for me. A lot of you may not know I used to be a technician for the longest time, and 10 years ago I sat in that same audience watching Arnie Bellini at Partner Summits. Now I feel honored to be up here in front of you, and I talk to you about what we've learned at ConnectWise, what I've learned, things we see going on in our ecosystem, in this industry, things that are affecting your business. So that's what we're excited to share with you. Now let's talk about the event, right? We've got 30 great, amazing solution partners here. You've seen them at the Solution Pavilion yesterday. They're here to show you the solutions that you can deliver to your customers. We've also got 1,300 total attendees between you, our partners, ConnectWise colleagues, our solution partners. We're all here to explore this ecosystem, share knowledge with each other, network. I've seen some great things happen. We have 104 breakout sessions. You can learn more about what the ConnectWise platform can do for you, learn more about how you can better your business and your service delivery and focus on your customer. And we have three great networking events. Last night we had the welcome reception. Following the breakout sessions today, we're going to have a pub crawl back through the Solution Pavilion. And then we're going to follow that up. We're going to head out to Dave & Buster's, play some video games, and have a great time there, networking. Okay, now let's get into it. So I said the word ecosystem there, and I said I wanted to share some things with you. A lot of people are using the word ecosystem, the term ecosystem right now. And what does that mean? I want to talk about what that means, get down into some detail, because first time I heard it, I thought, yeah, my son brought one of those home from biology class, and it had some snails and water in it, and that's not this type of ecosystem. This is a technology ecosystem, and we're all a part of it. So let's talk about what the components are, because there are 4 components that make up this ecosystem. One of the most important ones are our customers. Our customers are a part of this ecosystem because they have needs. They run businesses just like yours, and they use technology to become successful. So they need that technology to advance. And some of the technology you can deliver to them, some examples are backup and disaster recovery needs. And also, think about how much those needs have changed. And I laugh because, I told you I was a technician, about 10 years ago, what was the backup and disaster recovery at that time? Tape! And I know you're thinking, what, was it really only 10 years ago? Yes, it was. We were still doing tape drives. We were phasing those out, right? We were bringing in BDRs, and then we transitioned that more into cloud backup, right? Their needs change. But look what this need means for you, right? What does that translate? That translates into a great opportunity for you, because their backup and disaster recovery need is worth $9.7 billion in North America, $1.1 billion in the UK, and $489 million in Australia and New Zealand. Another example of their need, security need. Now, security has also changed pretty rapidly, right? I'm picking out these two examples because we all deal with backup and security. And security 10 years ago, 15 years ago, is pretty simple. I scan your files when it comes to the computer, and I scan them on the way out. We make sure you're okay there. You did some perimeter protection, but the customer is okay. Well, what's the need today? It's a lot different. Now that they're mobile, they need to be protected wherever they go. And that's what you're there to solve. And look at the opportunity you have with security. 6.1 billion North America, 1 billion in the UK, and 411 million in Australia and New Zealand. Okay, a very critical element of the ecosystem, the customer, recognizing the customer, what their needs are, and your opportunity. Now, another part of this ecosystem, right, I talked about our 30 great solution partners that are here. Another piece of this ecosystem are the solutions. And they change as well, right? I talked about tape drive, became BDR, became a hybrid backup. Security went from, the endpoint security to DNS security, and it evolves. So you have to take the solution and match it with the customer need. So what are some of the solutions? Well, at ConnectWise, we like to build frameworks that you can structure your business and this ecosystem, and we came up with this solutions menu. We introduced this concept in November at IT Nation. Because you could think, wow, there's a lot of solutions I deliver to my customer, but it could come down to these 15 things. The 15 solutions: on-site computing, collaboration, copy print, cloud computing, backup and disaster recovery, security, application development, line of business applications, physical security, business intelligence. I'm going to read them all for those who can't see it. Office application, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, network infrastructure, audiovisual. A lot of different solutions and solution stacks for you to choose from to meet the customer need. And what's important is you need to have choice in this solutions menu, and that's what at ConnectWise, our platform, gives you, the ability to have choice. Look at backup and disaster recovery for an example. Yesterday, I met with our hosted guests that are here. Thank you for coming. I asked this question: how many of you work with more than one backup solution? All their hands went up. Right? A lot of you work with more than one, so you need that choice. You need that flexibility to use multiple solutions to fit the different customer needs. Right? If a customer just needs basic backup, you don't want to give them a solution with all the bells and whistles. You want to match that up, so you need choice. Other examples of solutions in our ecosystem, you look at security. Right? We've teamed up with these great solution partners in our ecosystem to give you the choice to what solution you want to deliver to your customer. All right, so we've got customers. We have solutions. Something that's important about both of those things, they change. Okay, what else makes up this ecosystem? Well, it's you, the 1,300 attendees that are here. It's your teams, and we call those technology teams. Now, this is a real important concept to understand because, we like to help you grow your business. We're more than just the platform. And the most successful companies I've seen have adopted a framework to structure their company around so they can grow. And we think this technology teams is a great concept. And what we've done is, just like the solution menus, we looked at the different teams in your business, said, what does that makeup look like? And it comes down to these 10 teams. Now, you could have just one of these teams runs your entire business. I just do managed services, that's it. You're a complete managed service team. But just like yesterday when I was meeting with some partners, you have multiple teams. Managed services, collaboration and telecom, cloud services, audiovisual, value-added reseller, managed security, systems integrator, physical security, internal IT, software development. It's a lot of teams, but ConnectWise is there for all of them. Right, the ConnectWise platform can work with all these teams and help you grow and be resilient in this ecosystem of change. This is another concept we introduced in November at IT Nation, and I want to dive into this one a little bit because I get a lot of questions on this. Say, wait, how do these teams work? What's this look like? Because what I would typically do is I'd run out in the audience. I did that at the Europe IT Nation, and I stunned the Brits when I ran out there. So I won't do that today. But I asked this question: What's one of the teams you have up there? It's usually, I have a managed service team. And then I ask, who are the people on that team? Well, it's Craig and Brett. I said, great. Craig and Brett, they sound like a great couple of guys. Who's doing the selling? Well, not them. Well, who's doing the procurement? Well, not them. Who's doing the billing? Not them. I said, so you have a team that doesn't sell, doesn't buy, doesn't build. The reason I point this out is this is where I see some companies start to have struggles in growing their business and run their business and support their customers and thrive in this ecosystem, because a lot of us are technical in this room. We tend to focus on the technical part. When I hear a technology team, we think, oh yeah, it's these people. It's April and Brett and Craig and Sam, that's it. What's important to know is it's more than that. You have a finance colleague in this team. You have an operations colleague in this team. You have to include them, right? We can't live in our silo, in our technical world, and go find a great solution and figure out how to deliver. We have to include everybody in the process and the procedure, right? So they know how we're going to sell it, how we're going to deliver it, how we're going to bill it end to end. And I get this question, well, wait a minute, I have to have a dedicated person for every one of these things? No. We understand your business. These individuals, technology professionals, exist in all the teams, right? The same person might do marketing for every team. The same person might do finance for every team. But the point I'm making here is you have to include all of these colleagues when you're structuring the teams, you're finding the solutions, you're working with the customers. Okay? It's important to understand this technology team concept and this ecosystem concept, because at ConnectWise, we develop the product around these concepts. We want to support these teams to deliver the solutions to the customers. Now, there's one more element that makes up this ecosystem. This is the best part. Okay? This part is the services. The services that you deliver to your customer. This is what makes you you. Right? This is what binds the solution to the customer, and what your team does is the individual services. We get this question. I do breakout sessions. I hold panels. People say, Craig, the customer knows how much Office 365 is. How can I charge any more for that? It's your service that you offer them. It's the threat detection service you add on there, the help desk service you add on there. The customer doesn't know how to do that. It's your services. Some examples of some services that you do. Your help desk service, your business intelligence service. I see a lot of companies working in that, looking at customer data, understanding the customer, helping them better themselves through their technology with business intelligence services, consulting services. I met with a partner in Chicago recently that really spent a lot of time understanding assisted living facility business, and now they consult on that. It's a service they add on top of the software and the infrastructure support and everything. So 4 big elements that make up this ecosystem: the customers and their needs, the solutions and the things they offer, your teams, and then the services you use to bind it all together. Again, a great framework for you to structure your business so you can grow. Right? I see a lot of you growing. We spend a lot of time working with you, and we think this is a good thing. Now, I've told you about the ecosystem. Well, I'm a storyteller, and I want to tell a little story. Because we get this. People come to the event, and they say, hey, Craig, I get to go to about 1 or 2 events a year, and I come here because I want to know what's going on. I'm busy running my business. I get it. So let me tell you what's going on. We've worked with some very successful partners. We have a great advisory council. And this is what we've seen happen. So in the beginning, technology started to take off, right? In the 70s and the 80s, there's some of you in this room started your businesses then, end of the 90s. We started laying that infrastructure. We got out to these businesses and proved to them that technology can help make them successful. We connected them to the internet. We got them servers and workstations to help with their computing power. We got them email systems so they could send us 40 tickets a day. That's your fault. You set up their accounting system. Listen, you can't run a business without accounting, okay? I know it's fun. And then backup. Right, so then you put the backup. This is pretty common, right? I boiled it down to this. I get it. It could be more complex, but for the sake of the story, we laid this infrastructure. We enabled these businesses to have this technology, and we connected the world, just like the railroads did. I want to say 1800s. I hope I'm right. I think that's when it happened. They connected the world. The railroads went out there. This is what you've done. You've laid this infrastructure out there and connected the world. You connected these businesses together. And we've been doing this for the past 30 years, maybe a little longer. This is what we focused on. Now there's been sort of a shift that's happening right now. And some of you are adopting that shift. But the most successful businesses that we've seen at ConnectWise and we've talked to and that I see networking here are focusing on the customer first and the technology second. They will tell you, we are a service-oriented business that just happens to be dealing with technology. How many of you feel that way? Yep, about a quarter of the crowd. You're heading in the right direction. And here's why. Think about this time period when we would go out there, and I'm going to have to go back 10 years because that's when I sort of laid my IT hat down and got into software. At that time, for the longest time, we used to dazzle the customer with technology. We'd go on, we'd sell them, look at this box, and look at the lights on it, and it has these gigahertz and terabytes, and it's got these cables, and look at that. And it's going to make your company do so many great things. And then they would be dazzled, and they would buy that. And that worked. But the past 10 years, these customers, the users of technology have gotten smarter because of smartphones. They understand what technology can do for them now. Their life has become modern. Those conversations aren't working so great anymore. And I've met with some of you that said, yeah, my customer's looking for more and more consultative discussions. Now the discussion goes like this. Hey, I understand you're a construction company and you have to work with subcontractors and collaboration is important to you. I have a system that's going to help you share files, schedule, keep track of project management so that you have a return on investment of 30%. You're more cost efficient than you've ever been before. That's what the customer wants to hear. They want to hear that you're thinking about their business and you're giving them an outcome. You're thinking about their return on investment on that technology and what the technology is going to do for them. I'm telling you, a lot of them do not care about all the technical details that much. They're really like, okay, that's great, but what's it going to do for me? This is what we see successful businesses doing. Focusing on the customer first and that outcome and what it means for them. Now, the same thing could go for the help desk. Right? We all, most of us have help desks in here and we work with customers and a lot of you will say, yeah, we're customer driven first. And then I'll look and take some examples and there's some room for improvement there because what we're still doing is running to the technology first. Oh, there's a technology issue. Run right past the customer. The server's down. Where is it? Run right past the customer and start working on that. A more customer-oriented company is going to stop and talk to the customer. What's the impact of this to your business? Oh, it affects the marketing company. This is the website server. Yes, I understand that. And then working with the customer, more focused on that. What's the outcome for the customer and getting them productive? Having conversations with the customer about your employees will get a full 40-hour work week because the technology will always be running for them. Not, hey, I'm going to do this backup into the cloud and I got 2 terabytes of space. We have 1 gig connection. They're like, yeah. That doesn't matter. It should just work. All right, so important point to point out, this is what we've seen happen. A focus has shifted from working on the technology to the customer, and that's because, well, the infrastructure's been laid out there, and now the customers want to know what's in it for them. Okay, more storytelling. So I've been dying to use a whiteboard in one of these speeches because, as technicians, what's one thing we love to do when we get into a meeting space with our colleagues? Run to the whiteboard, get some markers out. We want to get technical and do some drawings. Thanks, Brian. So I'd like to do a drawing for you to explain another concept, another thing we see, another change happening. Because I talked about the ecosystem. But I talked about a change in the way you're delivering your services to your customer. Now let's talk about a change that's happening within your business and why it's important to have a platform that's connecting everything. Now, before I get started, I want to see who is paying attention. What are the 4 things I said exist in this ecosystem? Name one thing. The customers. Who else? The services. No more ConnectWise colleagues. They've heard me say this 40 times. Who else? The technology, the solutions. So we have the customers, the services, the solutions. Wait, we're missing something. The tech teams, the teams, right? So I pre-drew this because if I drew it live, it'd be not squares. So we have you here, the technology teams. Okay, and then the solutions that you get to deliver to your customers. Now, I talked about when we first started doing technology work in our businesses, we went out and laid the infrastructure. We called that systems integration. So we started doing a lot of system integration. This word could be shorter. So we did some system integration. What did this look like in our business? All right, so what did we do? We went out and we got a solution. Right, we went to a distributor, we went directly to a vendor, we went to a solution partner, we got the solution. It was a thing. It was a server with lights and did all that. They sent it back to us with an invoice. Then there's one-time transaction. Went and got the system, they delivered it to us, we delivered it to the customer, we sent them a bill, they sent us the money back. Pretty easy. One-time transactions. Here's this, here's this. Then we started getting into hourly support, which we call break fix. We did break fix support. We started keeping track of this in an accounting system. Right, a lot of you started your business just on an accounting system. And then those of you that got really good at it, well, you bought ConnectWise. You said, oh, I need a lot more because there's a lot happening here. So you started interacting with your accounting system to bill the customer and keep track of the solutions. You started using ConnectWise to keep track of the support you were giving there, right? And some of you kept these separate. I've seen the usage data. Don't I? You're guilty. That's why we're here to help you. We want you to understand why this is important. Okay? Looks pretty straightforward and simple, right? There's this channel here. We called it the channel. We get a one-time solution, deliver it to the customer. Not much would change. The customer would get it. They know, yeah, this is 3 to 4 or 5 year life cycle. Not much is going to change here. And you delivered hourly support, real easy to keep track of. Then along came managed services. Managed services added a unique element because the one-time transaction stuff started changing. The support became recurring, right? To simplify this, you started charging the customer a couple $1,000s in unlimited support, right? So now you're giving unlimited support there. You're keeping track of it in ConnectWise, and those of you that are really good would hook ConnectWise to your accounting package to keep track of profitability because, managed services, you got to know when the customer is profitable and not profitable because they're taking as much support as they want from you, and you don't want it to be a bad relationship. So, managed services, one-time transaction, you'd go and you'd get the solution from the distributor or the vendor or the solution partner. You deliver the solution, right? We'd put a small business server in there. I'm going back that far. And then there would be a lot of support. We would do we'd do a lot of support, and we were keeping track of it. Not too bad. A lot of you have done really great here. Really great. And at ConnectWise, we help you there through the transition. Our platform helps you get into managed services and evolve through that. But now, I was supposed to change the colors. Now, something very important is taking place in your business. Right, a lot of you are dealing with this now. Everything on that solution menu, not just the on-site computing, the cloud computing, the user support, the backup, not only those things want to be managed, everything wants to be managed, right? As a service. You hear this all the time. Everything's becoming as a service. And let's just talk about what that means. That means a lot of is happening now. right? Now when you're going to get the solution, it's not a one-time transaction because things are digital. You know, most of the time you're not really buying things. You're buying digital solutions. So you're going and getting the digital solution. And now you have to pay monthly. You're delivering the digital solution to the customer, and now you're having to bill them monthly, not just for the service, but also for the solution. That's a lot to keep track of. This ecosystem is ever changing, and as everything becomes managed, there's going to be a lot of transactions here, and when we look at the data and we talk to our partners, we're seeing upwards of 40% change happening with the customer because it's digital. And they know it's digital. And what do I mean by change? I'll just stick with an easy example here. Now that they have Office 365 and it's digital, they don't have SBS anymore. They know they can add a user, delete a user, upgrade a service, downgrade a service, add more bandwidth, add more storage, take it away, do this, do that. I need this license, I need that license. Same with security. I need more security. I want to up that. Cloud network monitoring, yes, I want more. Take this away, change this, change that. That's the amount of change I'm talking about. And your business has got to adapt to that, has got to be resilient to that. And we are delivering a platform that is, because we have taken on the task of connecting everything in this ecosystem. You've got to have all of the solutions and the customers and your teams and the services connected, because there is a bigger strain coming on to this part of your business. Right? Who wants to spend 3 days a month counting up backup to send on a bill? I didn't think anybody would raise their hand. I don't. I want to have a backup solution that's integrated in so that that's automated. I want to have an email solution I deliver to my customer and it's integrated in so it's automated. I want to have a security solution that's integrated in so it's automated. I could say this about everything on the solution menu, because we know how important that is for you to continue to grow your business. This is the change. Everything is becoming managed. Okay, so I talked about the ecosystem, and what is that? It's customers, solutions, technology teams. It's the services you deliver, right? We've shifted in the way we deliver them. Now we focus on the customer. Our business is going through a transition. Everything is transactional and high change. You need a platform that will bring that all together so that you can focus on doing what you love, right? You saw the video, so you can go surfing, so you can hang out with your friends and family. Right? Those parts of your business that aren't so great, entering time, recording the notes, doing the administrative tasks, counting things, we have computers for that. At ConnectWise, we automate all of this. And in this ecosystem, we're delivering a solution that brings it all together. The cloud management, the business management, the endpoint management. We cover the entire customer journey. So when the customer is working with you, right, they're becoming aware of the solution, you're quoting it, they're buying it, you're delivering it, you're billing it. Our platform covers the whole thing. And when we connect everything in the ecosystem there, and we've already connected 26 of our solution partners, it'll all be in one place for you to run your business. That's what the most successful companies in the world are doing. So now what I'd like to do is bring out the product team so you can see what we've been doing to enhance how you do your job so you can love what you do. So I'd like to introduce to the stage Sam Demuling, Vice President of ConnectWise Sell.
Craig. Man, it's exciting to be here today, and one of the things I love about ConnectWise is we get to tell stories a lot, so I get to do a little bit of role-playing today. So I'm going to be Sam, the sales rep, and there's another person in my story. It's April. Don't worry, you'll get to meet her in about 5 minutes. And she's the owner of our company. And one of the things April did to me early on is she assigned me the task of doing renewal quotes. And you know, I thought at first, this is going to be easy. All I have to do is go to agreements, I have to look up everything that's due next month. That part worked well. Started to fall apart after that. I had to go into every single agreement, click on each one of them, go into the additions. I had to copy and paste all those things over to my quote. And I had to get the pricing right as well. That was no fun. It was really frustrating to have my data right there, and it wasn't connected between the two systems. So what we're doing is we're changing that story. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my system here, and I pulled up all the different agreements that are going to happen next month. And I'm going to go to Chris Craft Boats here. And I'm going to go ahead and refresh this guy. Of course. It happens to me first. Why? I'm going to go ahead and relog into our system here. And as I log back in, I'm going to pull up my agreements list. No, bad things happen to Steve Jobs, too. It can happen to me. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do that filter I was talking about. We're going to do everything that's coming up next month here. And I'm going to search on that. Here's Chris Craft. There it is. And there's something really cool that happens when I'm in this agreement that I'm really excited about. And I get my cell data right here as well. And it tells me a complete history of everything that's going on with this agreement, so I can see every quote that happened. But what I'm really excited about is this guy right here, this Create Renewal Quote button. So what that's going to do is, I mentioned earlier, I had to go to this edition section. This is where I had to copy and paste everything out and bring it over to my quote. Very manual, very frustrating. We want that to happen automatically. So I'm going to go back to my agreement section over here, and we're going to hit that button now. We're going to test it out. So bam, what it's doing now is it's contacting my cell system, it's automatically logging in, and it's pulled in everything from my agreement automatically. That's very exciting for me as a sales rep. I didn't have to copy and paste anymore. It's opportunities for mistakes have gone away, which I'm really thankful for. Now April, she's a very savvy business owner. And she knows year over year, we can't charge the same amount for our managed services. So she made sure that we do an automatic 2% increase. So here's my current agreement price that came in at $100. We're now going to charge $102 for it. Automatically happened for me. I don't have to get out the calculator, which April is very thankful for, because I never make a mistake with a calculator as a sales rep. Would never happen. But there's more to this story. I'm going to pretend for a minute that we've delivered this. We're going to kind of win it behind the scenes here. We don't want to spend all the time signing the quote. And what I want to show is what happens after we win the business. There's this new update agreement option. And what that's going to do is it can either replace the additions or it can update the additions that I have on my agreement. And it's going to bring in the new pricing that we charge. So that $102, if we go back to the agreement over here, and I refresh this guy and head over to additions, we're going to get that $102 automatically. It's going to automatically update those prices for me. Check that out. That's great. All these little details automatically happen for me, and I'm very excited about that. Well, speaking of Chris Craft and pricing, that reminds me of one other story I want to talk about that I had to do with April. And she gave me the assignment of just doing account management for a company. So Chris Craft called me up early on when I had started, and they just needed to onboard 5 new employees. And seemed easy enough. I just quoted them 5 Z-books, I gave them 5 new endpoints, security, and I sent them a quote. And then they called up April. I thought, oh no, what's wrong? Turns out they had a conversation with April about how the new rep, me, forgot to give them their discount that April had promised them. It turns out April had made a deal. They get 10% off of list for all laptops, and they get 10% off the managed services as well. I had no idea as a sales rep. And that was embarrassing for me, and it was also embarrassing for our company. And I became very fearful that in the future, every time I delivered a quote, I was going to have to go and ask April, did I get the pricing right? That did not seem fun. It did not seem efficient. It made me quite a bit scared. That's another story we want to change as well with ConnectWise. So I started this quote, and we're going to walk through that same scenario that I mentioned before. I'm going to find a Z-book, we're going to place it on the quote, and we're going to add our endpoint security. So first part is getting that Z-book automatically on the quote here. And bam. We have added it to the quote. And what I want to take a look at as it adds here is the pricing that we get. So pricing, this is the list or suggested price. Came in at $3,099. That's 10% off. It happened for me automatically. I didn't have to remember that we had a special deal with Chris Craft or put it in. That's great. Whew, that's such a relief. So we're able to take the muscle memory that April had in her brain, and we're able to codify it in our product as a pricing rule. So I'm going to go ahead and add our endpoint security next. We'll go ahead and put this guy on. Bam, again, 15 is the normal price. It took off 10%. We're down to $13.50. It automatically got my managed services in at the correct pricing as well. That's awesome for me. That's such a relief from a blood pressure perspective. Going to help on my medication. But April, she gets really sophisticated with her pricing rules. Turns out she wanted to make sure and encourage Chris Craft, if you're doing any bulk ordering, let's say you're going to order more than 10, I want to give you a 15% discount on all our laptops. Turns out we can do that as well. So if I up it to 12, hey, it automatically got 15% for me right there. If I go back to 1, back down. It's just automatically figuring these things out as I'm entering my quantities on the quote, calculating it on the fly. That is so great. There's one final bit I want to talk about, then we'll get April out here. And that is the services that go with this quote. So every time I sell a laptop, I have to do half an hour of labor. And normally I try to do this in my head. You know, I never make a mistake there as well. Oh, I sold 12, I need 6 hours, if I remember to even go to labor in the first place. So right now we have 1. We have half an hour of labor. If I go back to my hardware over here, update this guy to 12, and I take a look at my services, bam, 6 hours, it did it for me. Oh, that's great. I'm excited about that because it turns out what we're trying to do is we want your data to follow you. It shouldn't just be stuck in manage, it shouldn't just be stuck in sell. We should make sure your data is with you all the time. We want to automate those processes. We also want to take the things people are remembering in their brains, everything that April had, and be able to codify it right in the product. We want to simplify that. Instead of memorizing everything, have the product do it for you. So as a sales rep, I'm really excited about these things. But I've had enough time now to talk about my product. I'd like to introduce that fabulous owner of ours. Her name is April Taylor, and she is the VP of ConnectWise Manage.
Thanks, Sam. All right. So our first stop in the owner journey is going to be at onboarding. Onboarding is an exciting time for us, right? Bringing on new customers. Sam and the sales team have done an amazing job working with that customer through the sales process, and now we need to bring them on. So the one thing that happens during the onboarding process is obviously there's a lot of communication between the sales and the service team, making sure the information gets communicated over to deliver that amazing experience. There's also a lot of systems that need to be set up with that customer as well. And that's sometimes where we could see some bottlenecks along the way, right, is making sure things get set up correctly. One that we see from time to time is actually getting that company set up in Automate with the company in contact. That's generally limited to an admin. And if that admin's out on site, away, vacation, we would tend to have to wait for that to actually get set up. But not anymore. So what's nice now, is we could actually come into Manage, set this to a client, and then what's great is that will automatically go over and update automatically into Automate for me. I no longer have to wait for that admin to go and set that up for me. It's just going to happen. Now, this is just the first step, though. This is not where we're stopping with onboarding, certainly. And the next things are going to be really tying more into that service plan so that all the policies just get updated and agreements are automatically updated as well. So there's a lot of great things that are really going to be coming for onboarding very soon, which we're really happy about. The next thing we want to talk about is time and time management, right? As the owner, a manager, I want to make sure that my team is working as efficiently as possible, which means I have to look at their day and see how things are going throughout that day. Manage does a really great job of showing me their calendar, like what you see here, of what they're actually scheduled for. But I really can't tell, how much time did they spend on these things. But you can. So right now on the calendar, I could go in and I can look at time to the scheduled time to actual time right on their individual calendar. So I could see, for example, that Andy was scheduled for 2 hours on Tuesday, but it took him about 3.5. Why? It might be fine. There might have been an issue. I don't know. But now I have a visual indicator to show me that, and I can now drill in. I know I'm the owner and not the dispatcher, but this is also a great chance for the dispatcher to look at each of the technicians that are out there and really see how their day's going. Because if I get an emergency ticket in on Tuesday, I'm definitely not giving it to Andy because he's falling a little bit off on his schedules today. All right, so we've talked about onboarding. We've talked about time. Next thing is billing. Let's dig into that just a little bit. So I have a lot of agreements that are out there, and I tend to increase rates on an annual basis for my customers. They know it's coming, but it could take a lot of time to make those increases. So let's say I increase everything by 3% on my managed services. To do that today, I have to go into every agreement, one by one, every edition, one by one, and make those updates, which I'm probably going to mess some of those up, and it takes a lot of time. But not anymore. Coming very soon on the managed side is I'm going to have the ability to have a new screen like what you see here. I can see all of my additions. There's loads of columns that I could filter by, and I could go in there and actually make mass updates on agreements. So for example, right from here, let's say I'm looking at everything that's coming up for renewal in July. So these started last July. All right? It's going to filter the list down. I can see that these are all going to be managed service agreements like what you see here. I'm going to go over here, mass update. I'm going to update all of these by 3% because they all have different prices. I don't want to go in and type each one individually. Hit save. It's going to go in now and automatically update every one of those additions for me without me manually having to update any one of them one by one. But there's so many more actions that are here too. So some simple ones that I like is a taxable flag. I put in a bunch of agreements from time to time and forgot to check the flag. It's easy to do that. I could also come in here and update the cancel date. But a really nice one is for profitability, I want to update the cost. So just like I increase my prices, vendors increase their prices to me, and to track to see how I'm doing on my agreements, that really needs to stay up to date. So right from here, I could really easily do mass updates on all of my costs too. So we're bringing a lot of mass actions down to make it a lot easier to manage all of your agreements. All right, keeping on the agreement side, another one is keeping all of your agreements up to date. Like Craig mentioned, billing as a service, we do a lot of that today, and we're definitely in that 40% of change on our side. Things change a lot. Automate does a great job of bringing in the counts for me. I could see servers and workstations, all of that here. But Unite's doing a great job with Cisco, bringing in all of those product updates, so even down to like usage, because those things change month to month, up and down, and it's really hard if I have to go in and manually update all of those. So it's bringing all of that in here and all of that detail for me. So what we're going to do real quick is actually just take a peek at that invoice here, and I can see all of that detail now is broken down on that invoice for me. I've put in everything we do on every single one of these services, so there's no question around that. Even down to all the usage is all in here. This has really helped to minimize the calls I have with my customers, where I used to send out my invoices and I wouldn't get paid. I call the customer, and when there wasn't a lot of detail on the invoice, I'm having to justify the value of everything that we do. But by having all this rich detail in here, it makes those conversations really kind of go away, and we don't have as many of those anymore. Last thing I'm going to show on the invoice side of things is something, the number one enhancement for Manage was brought out this year, which was the ability to track payments and credits right down on the invoice. So you can see them listed out here. That would cause a lot of questions for my customers where the invoice numbers just didn't seem to match up for them. So we didn't have a lot of that detail in there. Where now on invoices, you can now track the payments and the credits right on the invoice, and the math just adds up. All right, now I'm going to bring out Brett Cheloff, the VP of Automate, and he's going to talk about the service tech.
Okay, hi friends. So I am the forever 16-year-old service tech here at this company. And I like to talk about service because most of you in the room probably work tickets all day, every day, and that's really what our life's surrounded by. So I'm going to show a lot of the things that we've done in our platform to help with you doing your day-to-day job. So let's just jump right into it. We're going to jump into this ticket, number one ticket on my board here, and it looks like someone's having trouble on a website. We've done a lot of work to try to help what I would consider the most time sink, and that is just reviewing tickets, especially older tickets that you're going in and you're saying, okay, what happened here? There's this massive chat log, just trying to catch up with the ticket. So this person said, hey, I can't get to this website, don't know what's going on. He actually refers to a screenshot, but how many times have you gotten something in here and you're like, man, if I didn't know that there's a screenshot there and had to go over to the attachments, click on the email, open the email, see the screenshot, I wouldn't have even seen it. So what we're doing is reinventing the notes pod in Manage to allow you to just scroll through cleanly and easily and then immediately see, oh, there's screenshots embedded in this email, and just open it up. Which is awesome, right? Yeah, that's why you clapped. So I can see that there is a, he can't get to that site. Okay, what's the typical thing going on there? All right, let's check the network map. Maybe there's something going on with their network. So I can click quickly, again, from the ticket, go right to that device. I can see their entire network, a lot of stuff down, and be able to zoom in on the device I care about. And if they're connected to a managed switch of some sort, we can quickly see, hey, they're logged into this switch at port 48. Awesome. Cool. So which one is that? I can click on that, takes me to it. I can see it's online. Everything seems fine from that aspect. So let's just check on site. And a lot of times when you have to go on site, that's very time constraining. You got to drive out there, you got to walk around, you got to see what's going on. Well, now what we're doing with View right on the ticket is being able to launch a View session and turn any of your clients into a remote tech for you. So I can send a text message. So I'm going to send it to this device right here. Sent it. Got the text message. I click. And why is this better in FaceTime? I don't want to share my personal phone number with all of my clients. So I can just do this, allow it, and boom. So I can say, hey, can you just walk to the server room for me? Or point it at the, hey, the monitor's turned off. Can you just make sure it's actually plugged in for me? Or hey, let's all say hi to Arnie right there. So what's really cool about this from a documentation standpoint, there's a little button here. I could take a picture of Arnie, and what'd that just do? That just added an attachment to my ticket of that actual screenshot. This is awesome for documentation purposes as far as, hey, I just did this thing. I made sure I checked on site so the technician above me is not like, hey, did you go check and make sure it's plugged into the wall? I said, yes, actually there's a picture on the ticket. Perfect, just for you. So that's something very cool with View that you can use today. You guys should try that out. It's awesome being able to turn any of your text into, or any of your clients into text. All right, so that's fine. Everything on site. Let's check the actual device. So with one click, again from the ticket, I can jump right to the device. And notice how I opened up the web version of the Automate Computer screen, which was released last month. Extremely fast, fully featured, sitting here. I can see everything about this device right away. I got my commands, I got my scripts, and in this case, everything looks fine, so I'm going to just go ahead and flush the DNS and be done with it. So I can flush DNS, run my script, good to go, and off I go. So quickly and efficiently, being able to work my tickets and being able to be a better service tech for my clients and moving on. Okay, so where are we going with the web? Since I showed you a lot of web, and what's really cool about us going web is we can start putting it into our platform very easily where you're doing your job. So what's it look like on its own? So as of last month, for those of you that installed the latest patch, you'll see this now is part of your suite, and you can click, drill in, see all the devices here. I can use control, so I can remote right into these devices. I can open these devices very quickly and efficiently to do my job. And I can also look at the devices as far as the network device side and the network map, jumping right in here and zooming in on those things. Very quickly, so if I'm out and about at grandma's house, I don't have my computer, I don't need the thick client. Then our strategy here is hopefully by the end of this year, we can enable all the service technicians to do their job, 99% of their job, in the web, so you can stay in the web. And then the Automate admins that are writing scripts, they're creating custom monitors, doing the custom stuff, they can stay in the thick client as we transition over, but making our day-to-day lives as service technicians super seamless, super awesome. So that's what we're doing with the web. So what else are we doing? There's a lot going on in our platform, a lot of moving pieces. And without really being told, you have to go digging for those. So what kind of scenarios are that? So what we're creating is for those of you that are familiar with the notification service on the computer screen today, we're creating a platform-based notification system. So that way I can be notified on significant events. So as you saw, a pop-up just happened that a ticket came in from a VIP customer. I need to jump on that right away. Or maybe a script that I just ran just finished on a computer and automate and letting me know that, and I can click on that and go to it. Or hey, one of my prospects or clients is reviewing one of the quotes I just sent out, and I can quickly see that and jump to that one click. So let's jump to this ticket real quick and see what's going on with this VIP client, since I need to jump on that. And it looks like they got a new phone. Shocker, it's the phone right here. And they need help getting their email on their phone. Well, that's awesome. Let me help you with that. So very quickly, I can jump into control, and I can jump into this, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I can completely control this device from here as a tech. And I can say, okay, let me work on this for you. And I'm going to open up the settings. I'm going to go to your accounts down here. And as you can see, this is very fast, very efficient, being able to help my client even better. I can click accounts, add whatever I need to add for them. How awesome is that? And as you saw, it's all live. And there's just one more thing. So we're also working on a platform-based mobile app. So a native mobile app that will use all of ConnectWise to help empower you. And the first thing we targeted, obviously, me being the service tech, was for the service tech. So when I'm out and about and I actually have to go on site, I can see my calendar, I know where I need to be. I can review tickets and set it in progress, so that way I can have my time going. I can add notes to that session there and create new tickets. Because how often are you on site, you're working one issue, you go over, someone arm grabs you and says, hey, this printer's busted, can you fix that for me? Okay, hold on, let me add that real quick. So I can track all of that, because it's very important as service techs, we track all of our time and what's going on. I can also review other open tickets very quickly while I'm on site. Like, hey, I was scheduled for this, but let me just see, maybe there's other stuff I can shore up, as well as make sure that the configurations are attached, because we know we love to attach the configurations properly, enter our time, and make sure that we have our notes in. As Craig likes to say, that's the number one pain. Well, we just made it super easy for you to just tap that in, put it in, got my time done. And also, obviously, our expenses. And make sure, I just took the client to lunch. We had about 16 beers. It was awesome. I'm going to expense this whole thing. And just put it right on there, take a picture of it, and just go on my own way. So that's what we're doing for a service tech, and this is the presentation we had for you as far as what we're doing with ConnectWise, and it's awesome stuff, and we're going to continue to work passionately in creating an amazing experience for you so that your businesses can grow and you can run it on our platform. And everything that you just saw from us today is coming out this year, but we have some bigger picture items that we really want to talk about, and for that I want to bring Craig Fulton back up here and talk to you about that. So I thank you for your time.
All right. So, very powerful things we're doing in the products to drive them forward, to get your teams more efficient in this ecosystem. You know, connecting all of dots during the customer journey. You know, Brett, Sam, April did a great job there. You know, we have Jeff Bishop on the control team, Justin working on Unite. So I'm proud of all of them for the work they do so that you can love what you do. And we're not done there. There's a couple things we're working on that I'd like to talk about. Just real quick, I want to point out. Now, a lot of you use some of the solution partners' solutions in this ecosystem that we resell. And again, there's 26 of them. To name some of them, WebRoot, ESET, Malwarebytes, Infrascale, StorageCraft, Acronis, and so on. Right? How many of you come to ConnectWise to get those solutions? Okay, the three of you, we'll have a little party after this. There was more hands. Well, we want to make this easier for you, and those of you that might not know, I want to show you how easy this can be. So at ConnectWise, we work with our solution partners so you can get those solutions directly from us. Now, to do it now, you're going out and you're quoting the solution with your customer, and then you're calling your account manager at ConnectWise and you're getting them. Well, I want to reduce a lot of those steps and make that easier for you. Right? I want you to be on a quote with your customer like this. And you're preparing a quote, you've got some content in there, you're going to do some user care and some other things, and you want to also add some security. Real easy, click Solutions menu. Right? Look familiar? Oh, I want to choose from the security stack. I want to get some additional web root. Yep, let's add some of these licenses here. Let's get 10 of those. Right, the same quoting process a lot of you have gotten used to going through. I've added them right to the quote. Now what happens is you deliver the quote to the customer, you win it, and we've completely automated the process in the back end. This is what we're working on so that it automatically provisions and delivers the license to you. It takes about 3 or 4 of the manual steps out of the process, right? Because when we're connecting this ecosystem, we talk a lot about the technical part. Yes, we've connected it to Office 365 and Cisco, Meraki, and Azure, and Amazon Web Services. You can do managed monitoring and billing. But we don't want to forget about the earlier steps of quoting and procurement. So we're working to automate those. Okay, that's coming. Another thing we're working on, and I laugh because we hear this one all the time. Now, I said in this ecosystem, it's about delivering value to the customer first, right? And how do a lot of you do that? The customer portal. No? You're all using the portal? So I get it. A lot of you are using multiple portals. Yep, I use the portal and manage so they could come and do tickets and do invoices. I use the portal and control so they could come there and remote control their machines. And I use the portal and automate. And you give them all these multiple portals. Well, we have a dedicated team now on the product team to deliver a new customer portal to you. Because we know in this ecosystem, that's where the customer wants to go. One place to do everything with you. One place. And I'm going to talk through an example. So look, we're going to deliver a new portal that allows you to brand it how you do things. We get that all the time. I need to make this portal look like me. Right? Because I understand you have to deliver the value to them, right? That's what the customer wants to feel what it's like to work with your company. And in this example, I recently visited a partner in Edgewood Cliffs, New Jersey, network doctor, David Burke, one of the founders there. He says, we deliver a lot of value, but there was 3 things that he said that jumped out to me that I thought was important. He says, I like to be able to show the customer what we're doing for them because I'm sending them an $8,000 bill. And if I'm doing things right, I never see them and they never see me. But I don't want them ever questioning, what am I paying $8,000 for? So he delivers to them a bright gauge dashboard. He also said a second value that I like to deliver to my customer is I document their network thoroughly. I said, no, you don't. Yes, I do. I said, in Visio? I go into Visio. I didn't believe it, but I watched it happen. I said, this must happen all day. He goes, 10 times, 15 times a day. But it is my differentiator. It is my value statement to the customer that I'm organized, that I have it together, and I'm on top of their infrastructure. That was important to him. They like to show that. I would think with the name Network Doctor, that probably is pretty important to document the network. And then a third thing that he brought up was, I use control to remote control my customer's technology, but I also then let them control their own technology with that as well. Because they want to control their machines from wherever they are, this mobile workforce. So there were 3 things that jumped out to me, and it's more than that, but I thought, wow, you guys really are using portals to work better with your customers. So we want to give you a portal that's able to do that. Now, we're just going to imagine what this portal could be like. We're working on it now, but we want to develop a portal for the people. You can call it that. We want to develop a portal that you need, that your customers need. So imagine the customer could come there and see a dashboard of the tickets that they're submitting and that they're working on. They can see those, real easily created. And I know what you're thinking. Craig, they're never going to sign in. We're going to put single sign-on in here, okay? And we'll give you the ability, hey, I got one fan. Right there, come see me later. I have a shirt for you. Everyone's like, oh, we want them to be able to come there, see the network diagram. If you want to show it to them, show it to them. The ability to come and see their invoices and pay their invoices, right? Common stuff that you see in the Manage portal. But I'm talking about a portal for the platform, a portal for the ecosystem, a portal for the people. The ability to come in here and David Burke's scenario, right? I want to show them that Bright Gauge dashboard that I made for them. They could come there and see that Bright Gauge dashboard. Okay? Connecting the ecosystem. The point I'm making is, if you've got something connected in this ecosystem and you want to show it to the customer, we want to develop a portal for you that does that. If you've got a security dashboard, a backup dashboard, a physical security console, you want to show them, we'll allow you to do that. And then also for David, I want to give him a way that his customers could come here, log in, and control their own machine from wherever they're at. Right? Sky's the limit here. Anything you've got integrated in this ecosystem, we want to give it to you. Okay, so we're working on this now. Dedicated team to this. Separate from Manage, separate from all the others, because we want to move fast. But we need your input. Please come to the Solution Pavilion, see a colleague there, tell them what it is you need in a portal. We want to build what you want. Okay. We're going to deliver that, first version of that, in November at IT Nation this year. So we can complete that entire platform and that customer journey for you. Okay. Ecosystem. A lot of pieces here, a lot of things going on. We want to connect everything. That's a big goal, right? At IT Nation last year, Arnie Bellini, CEO of ConnectWise, stood up here and said, I want to jumpstart this. We have created a fund to jumpstart the connections of this ecosystem. And we invited our partners, our solution partners, to submit their ideas to us. We started this in March. We called it Tech Tank. Submit your ideas, and we'll fund the top 3. Right? We got some great things. We got some great suggestions. So what I'd like to do is bring those 3 companies up here, and we're going to announce the winner today live right here. Okay? So guys, come up on stage. Hey, how are you doing? How are you? Howdy. All right, let me check. Test. Okay. So just introduce your name and your company real quick for me.
My name is Manoj Jana, and I'm with YayPay.
Okay, YayPay.
My name's Dave Wilkeson. The company's name is MSP Gadgets, and our idea is MySlice.
And my name is Ronnie Thunfjord, and my company is My Self-Service Portal.
Okay. So I'm going to give just a quick rundown of what their ideas were. So with My Self-Service Portal, it's a portal that your customers can come to and get self-help, but it interacts with the platform. It creates the tickets. It allows them to run the scripts that you give them permission to so they can self-remediate. We also have MySlice. This is a great product that helps pay out bonuses and compensation based on your colleagues using the system, right? A commission structure for your sales team, a commission and bonus structure for your service team. So as they're interacting with the product, you could pay that out. And then YayPay, a product that helps you automate the collections process. It works with your accounts receivable, so you can score your customers and how well they're paying, so your account management can work better with them. And it keeps track of that because, a lot of you are technical, and this business part needs some help. So they have a great solution there. So I'm going to start off with our 3rd place winner. So our 3rd place winner, My Self-Service Portal. They're going to get up to $25,000 to do an integration into ConnectWise. Thank you. All right. I'm excited to announce the winner is MySlice. The winner of MySlice, they're going to get up to $100,000. And then YayPay, you guys get up to $50,000. So thank you guys. We appreciate your cooperation in this ecosystem and helping us connect everything. So you can see them at the Solution Pavilion where they're showcasing. All right. Okay, and we're not done there, right? We're going to have these Tech Tank contests at every event because there's a lot going on in this ecosystem and we can't do it all ourselves. So we have this fund to help get that moving. And with that, I want to thank you for your time. It's been a privilege to be able to share what we've learned at ConnectWise with you all. And I hope you have a great Automation Nation 2018. Thank you.